Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in Yamato, but not by choice. I logged on this morning after an extended downtime for the servers, and they hadn't given us the new stuff yet. So I was like, all right, well, I'll jump into Yamato until they give us the new stuff. And then they gave us the new stuff, and as soon as I finished my build, I got kicked from the servers and can't log back in. Woo! Off to a great start, as they would say. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to do a what went wrong instead. So in the first 3 matches that I got to play in the Yamato, we had an interesting one here, and I want to break it down for y'all. And I want to point out what went wrong during this match. So there's going to be a few things that I want you guys to pay attention to. We can only discuss what goes wrong on our side because that's what I see. I don't know what happened on the other side, but I know that they didn't do so hot. And that might have something to do with the fact that there's 2 destroyers and a BA Montana in a division together, and they go that direction. So they overload that flank. Meaning that if you spawn on this flank, you need to prepare to push in. Right? You guys see where I'm going with this? Can you sniff it out? You guys have been around a long time, so I know you guys are smart. Oh, hello. I'll take that shot. Why not? But we actually, believe it or not, have a different build on our Yamato for once. Y'all been asking about it a lot, so I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to put together a build and try it out. Now, I didn't get a chance to record the build because Wargame servers suck. But, yeah. So, this is the ARP Yamato commander. And y'all have been asking about it a lot lately. I don't know, I've never played it, so I figured why not use some of my resources that I have, put together the commander, because I already had the commander. I just never used it. I preferred the free-to-play build because that's what I always had. But I want you guys to pay attention to our Conqueror. Conqueror goes forward, finds the radar cruiser, gets radared immediately, shot at, and is being engaged. And he does the right thing. He disengages, right? Now, I don't have a shot at the Worcester at the moment, but somebody does, and I believe it's the Vermont or the guy behind me in the Delaware. But somebody got a good hit on him, right? And then he starts to back away from the island, and of course that allows me to take a shot at him. So I use the auto-aim. I try to look to see if I can see which direction he's headed, and then the auto-aim lets me get in there, and we get a couple of good hits on him. But we're just trying to make him uncomfortable, right? Now, if you're the Conqueror in this situation, you got a lot of room that you can go. The only thing that you can't do is go straight back into the cap and put yourself in a position where you were just in! Like, you know exactly where the Worcester is. You know exactly what he's doing. And yet, you decide, in your infinite wisdom, to push back into the cap, and then not only that, but put himself in a position where he can't actually do anything except be shot by the Worcester. Like, what are you thinking? You had one job. You had one job, and this ain't it. But we're going to push in, because, again, you got to be prepared to push in this situation. We know there's Yamato out there. We know the Worcester's here. And when the Conqueror decided to go back in, I'm like, dude, I got to try to help this man or he's dead. But you can see, between me and the other guys, like, we just clapped this Yamato's cheeks. Now, if only there was a 3rd battleship back there that could finish that Yamato. But unfortunately, that's not the case. That 3rd battleship never even takes a shot at the Yamato. Which is highly unfortunate. But you can see between the Yamato shooting HE and the Conqueror shooting HE, we ended up getting set on fire. It was a double fire, so we ended up breaking out of that. And as we try to close the distance here, Conqueror is keeping me spotted, and Worcester is going to push up and try to shoot over the island. Now, as I close the distance, it's going to be harder for him to do. But it doesn't matter because he guarantees gets a fire. Of course he does. Why wouldn't he? Then our Conqueror does the unthinkable, pushes straight out in front of the Worcester again, drops torpedoes, gets radared, and gets shot, and inevitably ends up dead. Does he hit the Worcester for his troubles? Of course not. That would require him to be silly. Now, if you're the Conqueror in this situation, and you're planning on trying to go after the Worcester because you feel some type of way, because you just got your butt whooped by a radar cruiser that's built to kill you, maybe, I don't know, this is just a thought, I could be wrong. He's hiding behind a motherfucking island. Why don't you use the island to approach and then YOLO torp the man? Guarantee kill, and he's not likely to kill you. Wouldn't that be a concept? Again, not hating the player, just pointing out the things that he did wrong, right? Now, as we come around the corner, we absolutely crush the Worcester straight through the bow. We're going to try to finish him off, but we've got to be mindful of the fact that there's Yamato that's somewhere on our right, and then there's this Conqueror on our left. Now, I wanted to kill this Worcester here. You can see, Kleber is still firing his guns at the Worcester. Why? What in God's name convinced you that you could, I don't know, go for the one guy that's trying to kill you? The one person on the map that absolutely has your number. And you're like, yeah, I think I can take him. No, you can't. But it doesn't matter. We push up. We get him pushed out in front of the Vermont. Vermont finally gets killed. So, at least Vermont is participating at the moment. I want you guys to pay attention. Now, as I'm pushing up here, I'm gonna be a little bit too cocky against this Conqueror player because 99% of Conqueror players don't understand that they can switch ammo types, right? We destroy one of his turrets and I'm feeling pretty good. Now, at this point, I should angle, but I didn't. And he makes me pay and slaps me for 26,000 by firing armor piercing straight into the cheek. Now, if I hadn't destroyed one of his turrets, he kills me right there. And rightfully so. So there's where a thing went wrong for me. Underestimate your opponent, you're going to pay. But as we go back in, we actually destroy his second gun, and I didn't notice it at that time. I had no idea that I had just destroyed his second front turret. So I'm still assuming that this man has another turret to shoot me with in the front. He can't get the rear guns on target at this angle, so he's just sitting here, not able to do crap at the moment. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to shoot again, just trying to get rid of him. You can see I went right for the turrets again. For you that don't understand how I'm knocking out his turrets, you can see he's going to try to pull forward, try to get his rear guns on target. But our teammates are going to take some shots. They're real bad at it. But of course, we're going to turn out and get our rear gun on target as well. Straight through the cheek, down he goes. Now I've got to fight the BA Montana. And you can see from the plane showing up on the minimap behind me that the Yamato is pushing forward. Now look at my two battleships. I got Vermont in the middle of the map. And I got Delaware, who has still yet to move. Mans has been back there the entire game. He has had nothing to do. I don't know if he was the one that shot the Worcester early, but if so, that's the only thing he's done this entire match. But to the Vermont's credit, he at least decided to move, even if it was a little bit late. He's taking his sweet old time, but of course Yamato comes around the corner, shoots me, because why not? We end up getting a nice citadel through the cheek of the front of the Montana, and now we get to watch this disaster unfold. Now, obviously, now that the Vermont is the last one alive, well, at least the last one forward, he has now put himself into a crossfire between a Yamato, a BA Montana, the two destroyers, and a cruiser in our cap. Which is not going to end well for him. And he knows this, so he decides to just say, screw it, I'm going home. Literally, that's what happened. Either that or he got kicked out of the game. One or the other. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt this time, just because the servers are so borked today. So we'll say he got disconnected from the server at this moment. The reason I say that is because at the end of the game, he's going to have a 0 XP game, despite having at least gotten one kill during the match, when he killed the enemy Worcester. Now, our intrepid hero here in the Delaware decides to YOLO forward. He is now going to be the last ship alive, and he is 1v6. So what does he do? Well, he just sails in and dies. There's really no rhyme or reason to what he decides to do here. He pushes in. Initially thought he was going to try to kill the Yamato, and I think that's what he actually was trying to do here, but he's just real bad at it. Because watch what he does next. And again, not hating the player, just pointing out the things that we can all learn from. This is a mistake that a lot of y'all make out there because I utilize it all the time in my Yamato or any other ship for that matter. When you are about to engage a ship, you need to understand the angle that you're taking the shot, right? You need to understand that at certain angles, your shells are not going to penetrate. The more experience you have in a ship, the more you understand those penetration angles. Okay, so when you do take that shot, you can aim for weaker spots. don't shoot the belt. The thickest part of the motherfucking armor on a battleship. Alright? There's only one place thicker than the belt, and that is the turret faces. Do you understand? Right? Does that make sense? The only things on a battleship that are more heavily armored than the belt are the turret faces. So when you're shooting at a turret, you don't want to shoot at the turret face, aka when they're pointing their guns at you. You want to aim at the sides of the turret or the barbette through the hull. But our intrepid hero fires straight into the armor belt, does no damage at all, and then just gets kerplapped for his trouble. So our 204,000 damage game, it was never even in question. It was a wrap from the get-go. We did our part, but unfortunately, you don't have the supporting pieces around you, you're gonna crumble, and that's the way it goes. But 1,600 base XP, and I mean, look at that team's XP. Woo! That's some rough days. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you guys also having server issues? I think I know the answer is probably yes. But yeah, I'm interested to know. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.